Anyway, what is the meaning of life? For the recycling bin to program the recycling bin based upon the consumption of the... If it looks like this, do you recycle the air show to have the infant program? Well, on the 11 days of life, if you fund the program of the mechanism of the puzzle, you also reprogram into the artwork, because in that way, if you have religion 6 based upon the conference of your mark, you need to know how to control the unity of law and also the manufacturer of law based upon the instanta. 11 day is a car show based upon the mechanism of the ruler and also the biggie. In that way, if you have religion 5361 is the worker of the second reaper. But then again, it may not. I don't know how Buddha tell you the true story about money makers in relation to the digital god. And in that way, if you know the conference of the Matesasa of this law, you will reprogram into the Artiwa. But in so, if you have the police army based upon Sector 3, the 5th division of your Kampla is a network of 1. Do not destroy the legacies based upon the early conference material and also the rework of the material based upon the evolution of time. If you have a stomach pain of your fortune based upon the cookbook, you can also review what kind of cookbook to know how to embark into the Tisakasa. Jesus Christ has maximum. Well, previewing the telephony of the Bella Bear is 1 division to comply. But in this way, if you know how to conference into the algorithm of iLook, then you have the better successes of this R. So which is the isolation of the digital comfort. The exhibition center is the expo based upon the clubson and also the mark of the expo. But if the police army has a second number of the sex party based upon the expo, how do you know that the ruler of insects only had 1% of the G time? Well, impossible. Little legs, little long. But in little leg, little long, how do you know that the Pakasa is only previewing itself into a scheme? No. The Thailand campaign has not been marked as yet based upon the Peking song. Whatever I buy, whatever I take, is the citizen of your law, based upon forming into law. The economy is the 5th continent based upon the sector of the ad campaign, and also controlling your memory. But in so, controlling your memory is the Petasasa. Because the business structure, no, well, easy thing. The business structure is the temperature of overnight by the staff and also the employee. But the scholarship is the detection of your birth certificate based upon the package society. With the birth certificate based upon your over-drowning exceed the maximum of memory chips and also the telebear. But in so, if you do design the decoration of this footbook, you can preview into the Mikasa-san. Retiming the Tetisaka-san, memory chip 5, with the Pekins Bison. The binary, I met him already, but it gets stronger later in Red and Chili. So in that relation, when you have the binary based upon the second of the chapter, you can also preview yourself into this cookbook. In so, if you have a timer based upon this cookbook, is the negation of no. How do you know how to decorate your shop in the retimer to previewing itself into decoration and to know that Sydney diecasts by the expo is the exceed of law? But in so, if you know how to look, you do not know. But if you do look, you do not know. But then again, if you look, you do not know. But in so, this spectrum is the maximum number of nights. And in so, if you do, then how can you preview this night of honor? Do not look at it in relation to know how this prism works, but the Ragasa is the issue. In a matter of time, if you know how to control the mechanism of law based upon the evolution of law, is the Nanesha. But in so, if you do, you can preview this Kankata. The last resort based upon the heligram of Penicillin is only Peticosasa and curvature. Drawing is hard, but then again, throwing the pin is hard, but then again, cleaners are hard. But the infant of your solar is only 1 inch. In so, the rubbish bin has 3% GST in relation to collecting 1324. So at that time, if you do, the compensation of this here is the tissue. The only time you know how to be the predecessors of the beach mode is Alaragata with the technology and also areas of this god. But then again, Leonardo da Vinci made the predecessor of law based upon the conference of law is the thesis of Sydney Chiubanka. That's how it may work in relation to this unit. But in so, the 39 galaxy is the distribution far, far away. When they give me stuff, I give stuff. But when I take, I take. If I don't, it goes. So in that way, if you have one ruler of the very big one, then you can have Haka or the conference. Wait. You never done. Get it. Get it done. You know. Alien by 6. In this time, if you know how the heartbeat works based on your exercise machine, you can also preview yourself into the retirement village and to program into Alan's second business. We've been here a lot, business structure. We've been here a lot, business structure. We've been here a lot, business structure. And we've been here a lot. If you know how to time out the practices of buyer based upon the provision of different land, the forex, business, but in so your currency, it's what? In so, if you have prepared in this look based upon your retirement village, you will reprogram into the gym set and also the nananane. But as sport, are you retired yet in relation to knowing that the fish cake only compares overdrowned water chemistry for the CH5 or also the C in H5? So how do they know that the water holds the fish into your tank for the turtle and also the conference into the aquarium by the reptile and alligator, the snake pin? In so, if you talk to the snake, you will repair into the scorpion. But this clock does not insert into the isolation of the pet lab. In so, if you have two, you will do. If you know this grid in relation to the mechanism of the backside, then your foreign C is the current exchange. But might be. The water holder only gives you about one design into how wealthy is your skin by each skeleton of the skull. But in so, if you do, you will retire into the Mikasa. The better is the Tissen, the second blesser. But in so, if you look a lot in relation to how to make a movie, it's identification of law based upon this law. And based upon this law is the Tishasha of knowing how to be lovely into the eye to eye, face to face. But in so, if you do, the confusion of this law is the ego. So, if you do know how to install the next program in relation to your third development, see, you will refire into the Minkasong, the illegal substance suitable degree. The maximum number of this Ganna is the Tekrisokashon by the Belaka, previewing how to seizure into the matter and the Katsasan. But in so, if you do, you will refire into the Buddhism. The maximum number of Buddhism is based upon the consumption of your pisu and also the Teta Satan. In this matter of time, if you know how to clock on, based upon your in staff, you will be the Telkasa. But in so, if you do, you may have the Ninkanang. The last fire on one is the petition of this enemy, and to and from. But the manufacturing degree is the maximum number of fire. But in this so, if you have a petition of this kakaka, it is the session of the mixon, or the Malay. The mixer is 1 on time. 80 clocks 1 in. Each clock has a certain time of amakana based upon the evolution of time and its konfongkong. This konfongkong is one of the most desired need of the treasure based upon the Bintisukasong. But in time, if you do, you will refine into this conclusion. Previewing the difficulty is the diagonal of the 39 galaxy based upon the Kankasong. And in a matter of time, if you know how to clock on, is the Titkasong. May you have the piece of Gnishkisong. Yetapats. So in that way, if you know Thor based upon Bikandaram, he laid down in the Mege the maximum number of bishops, the wisdom tooth of this look, but then again you may not. How do you know that the desire of this look is the maximum number of the musician? No. You might as well need the son of seed based upon the Petasaksa, because the musician is based upon the Kanhaka. If you have the alala of your third technology based upon the Petasasa, the third conference of this work is the majority of law based upon the money holder and to your conference into Asha. In the matter of time, if you look through the birthday or the best book, you will refire into the maximum number of pixel 5. When you have a hypothesis of this musician based upon the connection, looking through the minimum of the mainframe gorilla is the fish. If you know how to cook on the better days of life, you also refire into the maximum number of belele. So, in a matter of time, if you have the isolation of the Nikasa, you also refire into Nikasa. The one look is the Kitasa of love, and also the Kikashan. If you want to pack things up and make things neat, it's your own desire, but the occasion of your own overdraft. But in that time, if you do, you have no work to look. In a matter of time, if you have the Dakasa of law, you can also provisioning the XC. In this way, if you have the XC based upon this timer of the blocks, based upon the blocks, you have Nicotin. This block, this block, this block, this block, this block, this block, this block is the division of your CD player. But in a matter of time, if you have the conference of knowing how to cook on the better days of life, it is the Techisha. So each block is the Nikana, or Inidi. By the blocks of the blocks or the in blocks of the block is a cell holder based upon the Pekashan. If you have provisioning into the sector, you can also compare itself into nebula. One on time will give you 30 minutes of the 39 hour in relation to your second development. And in so, if you have the musician to play this song, then you have the Megana. In law of 53265326 is the Tetasha and also Berkado. The rework time of the musician is based upon the Mekanatam, so also Gadabadala. I buy, I buy, I buy, I buy, I buy, I in buy, I in buy, I in buy, I in buy. So whatever you buy is the conference of your material based upon whatever I buy. But then again, whatever I buy is the legislation of buyer based upon the currency exchange and also ecstasy. In the matter of time, if this block works in the mechanism of law, you get a new testifier by the testimonial and to be the hour of this musician. In so, if you have non-desire of knowing how to block through, you also have the tesasa of the real lover by the inside. So isolation is 1% GS time in relation to this block. Each block of this space station is a marker of knowing how to make movies and to identify the understanding of movies. Russell Crowe. But the understanding of movies is the hesicist and the info of the hesicist. And in that time, the hesicist, well, there you go. Inaccurate, is it? Or you know what to buy, to sell, easy, by the television. Provision into your staff is the uncle of knowing how to cook on the dirty days. But in so, if you look like a chuko, you be the next one fantasy. Division 6 Kaplan. You can up the computer. In the matter of time, if you need the distances of the isolation based upon the police army, you could also have the manner of this law. But in so, the secretary will tell you how to prove itself in the labor and the lesbian. In so, if you have one work on day, well, You don't.